world today to make way for a better tomorrow. Presenting a platform for policymakers and opinion leaders to engage in a meaningful conversation with India's most trusted news team. To decode the most relevant issues that matter. CNN News 18 Town Hall, Road to 2024 in New Delhi, July 17th.
Good evening and a warm welcome. I'm Shahadra Siddiqui and you're watching Viewpoint. And honestly, our point of view when it is about Delhi deluge that's now spilled into Noida as well can be no different from yours. A flood situation choking the usual thoroughfare of the forever bustling Delhi. On normal days, the Irrigation and Flood Control Department's Central Flood Control Room that saw little to no activity has been buzzing with non-stop complaints. Several areas in Delhi are flooded even as the water levels of Yamuna River, which rose to an all-time high yesterday, are now slowly receding. Delhi government has even shut down schools, colleges, crematoriums and even water treatment plants yesterday as water from the overflowing Yamuna flooded the national capital. Areas in ITO and Rajghat are still submerged and the flood waters have even reached the Supreme Court. Some areas are also seeing drinking water and power cuts. The city government has also banned the entry of heavy goods vehicles, barring those carrying essential items into the city from the four borders, including the Singo border. And while all of this is happening and the problem at hand is a really big one, Delhi Minister Saurabh Bhardwaj and Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena are busy having an on-camera spat. Priorities, I tell you.
You can see in the visuals as well that still the residents can be seen leaving from this particular location. They have no other option but to leave from this particular site. They are moving towards either to their relatives or some other location. As you can see in the visuals, that a team of the NDRF has been deployed here. We have been given to understand that there is a nearby Gaushala, and this is how the rescue process is taking place.
अश्वनी जी को मैंने कहा, ग्रुप पे लिखा, सीएस साहब भी थे उस पे सर, थोड़ी सी मदद हो जाती सर।
मैं सौरभ ये कहना चाहूँगा कि ये समय नहीं है कि हम किसी के ऊपर ब्लेम करें या कुछ और टिप्पणी करें।
Honorable CM has been continuously, not even an hour he might have slept. He has been talking, asking, calling everybody.
जितनी जरूरत होगी उतना एनडीआरएफ की टीम यहाँ लगाई जाएगी। प्रधानमंत्री जी को गृह मंत्री जी का ऐसा निर्देश है।
Let's now give you a sense of what things are looking like, what they stood as yesterday and what things are looking like today. We'll give you a comparison for you to actually assess whether the water levels have reduced or they are continuing to rise despite the Yamuna seeing receding levels of water. What happens to the already stagnated water in various places across the national capital, across the NCR region is something that we are leaving you to assess with through these visuals that we are putting across. The first set of visuals are coming in from the Red Fort. This is what the situation was yesterday and you look at today. Well, according to me, these are exact same scenes that we are getting to actually witness from Red Fort. This is what the level of water was yesterday. Today, it's almost like a river from the Red Fort area. Something similar that we'd seen. If we take a look at the next set of slides, that one's coming to you from ITO. We'll play the next set of visuals from ITO, which is one of the most thoroughfare areas as far as the national capital is concerned. If you'll just change to the next slides, please, and give our viewers a sense of the ITO, and we will get to understand how things stand as far as ITO is concerned. Right now, this is what Red Fort looks like. These were visuals from yesterday. Remember, this goes to the ISBT area, and this is what it looks like today. An entire river, that entire patch of water has in fact risen. Let's take a look at ITO now. Now, if you look at ITO, this was yesterday, where you can see people trying to wade through the water. There are basic vehicles, even people trying to go ahead and go to the other side of this entire terminal, this entire road, which is, like I said, a thoroughfare, and this is what the situation is today. From what we can see, it's only an increase in the water levels. That's where, till where the eye can see, you can only see water all around. Even to go to this bridge, you have to actually get yourself submerged in water. Going further to Yamuna bridge area, let's take an assessment of what things look like. This was yesterday. This is what it is today. As far as we are concerned, the water levels have not gone down an inch. But the current of the water really does seems to have increased. Going further to the Yamuna Bazaar area from the Yamuna bridge, let's take a look at the next set of visuals now, which will be coming to you from Yamuna Bazaar. The next slide, please. So this is the Yamuna Bazaar area. This is a residential area. You can see the water levels which have come to the houses of people where they stay, and you can see here. This is almost chest deep water where people are currently at. This is the same area from where my colleagues were reporting from yesterday. You can see the situation yesterday, and this is what the situation is today. I don't know how people living in these areas are even trying to wade through the water, but this is what the visuals in fact tell you, and that's exactly we are trying to assess through our colleagues who are constantly joining us from on ground. Let me actually take this across to my colleagues who are joining me live on the broadcast. Akash, my colleague, is live from the Bhairo Marg in the national capital. Anshul is joining me from ITO. Nikhil also joins us from the ITO flyover, and my colleague Anvit is live from Noida, sector 135. Remember, the impact of the Delhi deluge is now spilled onto Noida, like I said. So let me first bring in Anvit on the broadcast. Anvit, the situation in Noida, there was lauding of the Noida infrastructure, that nothing has happened to Noida. But what we woke up to today, all the Noida residents, they were all surprised because of the water really gushing out of the drains, and the drains also overflowing.
Yes, certainly, and situation where we are right now is not very good, but yes, administration has made all the efforts. Before we get in visuals, Griha, we have with us additional DCP Shakti Avasthi to brief us on the complete situation.
Yes.
Sir, what is the situation currently? How many people have been rescued? How much time will it take to rescue the others who are stuck?
Currently, we don't have any human left to rescue. We have rescued all the humans, and there has been no issue on the side of human evacuation is concerned. Currently, we have some evacuation left on parts of the pet, cows, rabbits, and some birds. So we have around 6 to 7 boats which are currently operational. We have 8 to 10 tractors and trucks who have been bringing people and their pets. So this is the current situation right now.
Sir, many people are here to rescue their cattle. Also, the truth is that they had been given advance notices, and a lot of gaushalas and pet stops that they are there, which are illegal also, which is also one problem that we are facing while evacuation, because exact number of pets is not was not with the police initially.
So we did not have the number of pets, but we are evacuating those first which are near the coast, because they are in the immediate danger of getting drowned. So all our boats are on the shore area, and we are ensuring that all those animals and pets who are currently in the danger of getting drowned, they are safely rescued by us.
Also, what arrangements have been made for the people to get them food and shelter? Many shelter homes have been created in Noida.
Currently, we have 3 shelter homes for humans and several other shelter homes for the cattle. So there are different shelter home made. Also, there has been a lot of community participation. We have been getting several requests to provide food, provide water to all those people who are involved in the rescue operation. So it's a combined effort by both the police as well as the society.
So police have been working day and night. You can see they have been working overnight to rescue people. More than 2,000 people. We recently, just a short while ago, spoke to ADM Atul Kumar, who was here, and he is the nodal officer, and he said more than 2,000 people overnight have been rescued, and over 1,000 cattle have been taken out from these flooded areas, which you see there.
Right, Anvit, I will come back to you. I need more inputs from Noida, but before we do that, let me also bring in Nikhil, who is joining us live from the ITO flyover. Nikhil, I believe you had to actually get into the water to go to the flyover. That's how bad the situation really looks like at the ITO flyover. Just take our viewers through people who are still commuting and who have to, despite offices and schools being shut. What are the other ways that they can actually take, if not ITO?
So Greha, we are now going to show you the overall aerial visuals of the ITO left, right and center. And this is the situation which is at about 6:05 p.m. in the National Capital Delhi, and the water level could be seen as of the same level which was seen in this morning. And this is something, this is one such place which has been visited today by Delhi LG VK Saxena and Arvind Kejriwal at the same time. So now what you see in the visuals are the aerial visual of the ITO, prominent ITO. Had there been any other Friday, then this part would have been flooded with not water but the vehicles, because this is one such place where huge traffic snarls are seen on a daily basis. It takes more than half an hour to cross this particular stretch, but now this is the place. Both sides of the carriageway, both sides of the roads are completely filled with water. And to give more information to all our viewers, close to 100 to 150 meters is the patch where the water has been completely filled. On left hand side there has been a building of Indian Medical Association, ICAI, Income Tax Office as well, and on the right side there are some of the prominent offices like PHQ, which is one such concerned department for the Civic agency in the capital city. There is Delhi GST office and also the old police headquarters as well. So this is one such prominent place in the capital city. Now we can see that both the side of the carriageway is completely filled with water. Also at the same time, I would urge my camera person Guni Singh Vedi to show you that particular vehicle in the blue color whose vehicle has been damaged because of the excessive water. Although the barricading has been put up by the Delhi police, but there are still some of the people who are braving this particular situation and are moving beyond a particular point despite all the advisory which has been issued by the Delhi police. So they are also facing the consequences at this particular place as well. And we have been given to understand that in a short while from now, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is expected to visit the ITO Yamuna bridge, where 5 of the gates, as per the details, were shut, and they are going to see as to what best possible efforts could be made to open them at the earliest, because there is a juncture where the water is not able to pass through. So this is something which we are seeing in the capital city, and the visuals which are being played out on the screen of Sierra News 18 is from the prominent ITO. And someone or the other has to take the responsibility of the same. If this is not the natural calamity, Greha, then definitely there lies some responsibility which has to be taken by some authority or the government, which we need to see. Back to you.
Right, Nikhil, in fact, if your camera person zooms in a bit, we would be able to also see Anshul in the flame, because Anshul is also joining us live from ITO, but he is in knee-deep water. Anshul, how are you doing over there? And we also see some sort of a traffic movement that's still being allowed, considering the entire thoroughfare has been barred. How are these vehicles still being allowed to ply on this road?
So yes, officially the vehicular movement has been barred in this entire road, but yes, these people have managed to get through these roads because there is absolutely no police checking that is happening. There is no police official on the ground. And ironically, at the place at which I am standing, right in front of me is the PWD office. And right in front of the PWD office, we are seeing such situations. I'll just try and show you the kind of situation that has developed over here. Now, this is not the flood water that has come from the banks of Yamuna or the overflowing of Yamuna. This is water that has been thrown back by the drains out here in ITO, and this actually tells you the story of how the civic infrastructure in the national capital, especially in a place like ITO in which there are many prominent government offices, how the civic infrastructure has failed. There are no pumps that have been deployed here whatsoever. The Lieutenant Governor and the Delhi Chief Minister came here this morning. They took a look at the entire situation, and even after that, not a single pump has been deployed over here. Not a single machine has been deployed to clean the drainage system over here. And that is the reason why we are seeing that people have to go through this water, this dirty water, braving through this, because they have no other option to go from. Because, for example, people who are traveling from the central Delhi, they have to go towards Ghaziabad and Lakshmi Nagar. This is the shortest route that they can pick up. If at all there are other routes, it is also flooded and the water is also stranded over there. For example, from where Akash will be reporting in Bharomar, that is also one such location that could take people towards Lakshmi Nagar. But yes, this is a kind of situation that has happened across the north districts, and especially now it has happened out here in ITO, but yes, civic apathy is something that is very, very visible out here. Although
Absolutely.
promises are being made that the drainage system will be opened by this evening, but yes, it remains to be seen, will that be opened by this evening, and why is our government reacting and was not proactive when they knew that such a situation will come to the national capital? Because it was not a secret that water is being left from the Hathnikund Dam and that is going to reach Delhi and that is going to create havoc. It was no surprise for anyone. It was being reported vividly on media. The government officials themselves were coming on record and giving bites on that. Why was no action taken then? No proactive measures taken then, and now reactive measures are now being taken. But yes, definitely this is too little, too late, as people have also started to lose their lives because of this flooded water. Just a few moments ago, we had reported that 3 kids have died due to drowning, which happened due to stagnant water in Northwest District. So yes, the first deaths have also happened. Now the reaction, what sort of reaction comes from the government, that remains to be seen. But yes, the situation is not improving, and the government officials or the police administration cannot be seen anywhere on the streets, especially out here in ITO. Although barricades have been put in place, but yes, you can see the vehicular movement and the traffic that is ongoing out here at the ITO.
Right, Anshul, thank you so much for relaying it to Akash. So let's now get in a word from Akash, who is standing by at Bhairav Marg. Akash, I can see you are not in the water. Thankfully, you are away from it. That is a patch of land which is still not inundated, or has the water receded from there?
So 2-3 aspects before coming to that particular question, Griha, and it is very important to talk about these things. First one is that in fact my colleagues Nikhil and Anshul are mentioning about the water coming to the roads, but why it is happening?
Yes.
It is not because of the flow only. It is not because of the fact that Yamuna is flowing above the danger level mark. But we have a number of similar problems, and in fact the problems like drain number 12 that we have near IP metro station. So what is this drain number 12 and how it is creating a lot of problem for people here in Delhi? And in fact this water and the water at ITO is because of drain number 12. What is this drain number 12 and how it is creating this big problem? So this drain number 12 is basically a drain adjacent to river Yamuna that caters the drain water in fact of the central Delhi specifically. Drain water of ITO, all the buildings near ITO and all other nearby areas. Now what has actually happened? So we got to know that army teams have been deployed, and these teams are basically working for the sluice gates. What are these gates? So these gates are basically there to in fact these gates in fact were were there for years and were not open for years. But when it was required, in fact the agencies tried to open those gates, but these gates got jammed. And because of this fact, we have water flowing from the other direction, and in fact is going back from its origination. In fact, is coming from coming back to the roads and to the areas from where it is initially coming. Now this is one area, Bhairav Marg, where we have this water coming back to the road. We have this whole short nala, in fact the sewer system, where in fact you are seeing these two-wheelers trying to pass by. Traffic has been suspended on this particular route, but despite the fact that traffic is not allowed, these people are putting their life in danger, are trying to pass from this underpass. In fact, just few minutes back we had several two-wheelers and in fact a three-wheeler got stuck in this particular water. Also, I'll ask Pradeep Kumar Das ji to show you that visual. There we have a barricade fully submerged in water. When we talk about this particular height, 3 to 4 feet water is what we have been told, what we have been given to understand. And also people, and in fact the officers who are present at this point in time are saying that water is in fact was showing a downtrend till morning, but it is now once again increasing at this particular point. It is also because of the drain system, in fact the sluice gates that we are talking about. We have army officers and all the other officers working for those sluice gates, because if these gates will be, if they will open these gates, so water will find its way, in fact will be going to Yamuna only, but at least will not be coming back to this particular area, because this particular area, in fact the water in this area is creating problem for a lot many things, for traffic specifically. And then we have small insects, flies, aquatic animals and all other related dangers and also the diseases after this particular thing.
All right. All right, Akash, I request you to stay on with us. Let me bring back Anvit on the broadcast. Anvit, you were getting us an update from Noida. Like I had mentioned earlier, people were lauding the efforts of the administration that the water has not spilled onto this part of the national capital region. However, things are looking very different today. As far as this sector is concerned, where you are, Sector 135, how is it different from the other locations along the expressway that it is inundated more than the other places in Noida?
Yes, Griya, this is the low-lying area where we are right now, and let me bring in some figures that we have got from the authorities and the senior police officials. Over 5,000 people have been relocated who used to stay in that low-lying areas. More than 200 of them have been rescued by the police and civic authorities. 1,000 cattle and other animals have been rescued. 3 shelter homes have been made, and food distribution is currently underway. Other than that, the authorities that have been roped in are the police, local administration, civic authorities are here, ambulance and medical staff is here. Other than that, animal welfare groups are also here. If we talk about the current situation, you can see the water is still there, but see the main problem here is cattle are still being rescued.
Yes.
A lot of them have been rescued, and a lot of them are still being rescued. You can see some of the cattle who have been rescued, they are being recuperated. We'll talk to them. Sir, what is the current situation? How many have been rescued and what is their medical condition?
So in our animal welfare, we don't have too many cows. These are the 2 cows that came out today.
Okay.
It's quite bad inside. It's quite the water is up to here.
Okay. So is it true that many of the cattle have also died and not been managed to survive?
We did not find any cattle that were dead. A lot of them have been rescued.
They have been rescued.
Most of them, I would say, have been rescued, but there are still some which are there. I think some of the teams have gone inside to bring them out, and so we are hoping that all of them. But there are still a few inside.
So there are people stuck and cattle stuck, and that is why you can see senior police officials of the rank of additional CP and the DCP level officers are still here. See, the water level has not receded yet, and that is the major concern. When we came here in the morning, we saw that the water level was still here, and the water levels are still. When we spoke to the authorities and senior officials, they said that the water is not receding, and that is one concern. You can see the tractor that is bringing along more cattle from inside, because that is the major issue right now. Most of the people who were inside have already been relocated, and arrangements for them have been made. But rescue of the cattle is major, because see, these are all mostly the rural areas. Most of these areas were farmhouses. This is just adjacent to the expressway, that the Greater Noida Expressway.
Yes.
So most of the area is rural area, most of the area is farmhouse area, and therefore number of cattle and animals was really high. So a lot of groups of animal welfare groups and civic authorities are here. NDRF people are also here. You can see a boat is being prepared to rescue more animals and all other birds and animals who are inside in the rescue in the shelters, animal shelters.
And with one more question that I'd like to take from you is that this entire low-lying area that you're talking about in Sector 135 majorly also had a lot of farms of people there were, and that's why the presence of so much cattle that we see around. What happens to that? And it's very, very close to JP Wishtown and the other high-rises that we see along that side of the expressway. Has the water impacted those resident colonies as well?
So far, not many residential areas have seen this flooded water, but yes, some of the areas that are close by and some of the areas that are nearby, water has certainly came in there. But the thing is that after this, there's a road beyond this point which is a little on a height. So water has not managed to cross that road, and therefore those low-lying areas are still keeping away from the flooded waters. But mainly this area, which spreads to at least 6 to 7 kilometers, is what we are being told, is completely flooded. You can see hutments here which are completely submerged, have all been evacuated.
Yes.
In fact, the rescue operation started yesterday evening, and overnight rescue operations continued. You can see NDRF officials, tractors have been roped in, JCB excavators are here to bring out the animals who are already drowned and dead. So a lot of measures are being made by civic authorities, and the police also have been here since last night, and they have all been working together to make sure that no one is left behind, and even the efforts are being made that all the cattle that are stuck and all the complaints are being being received, they are also out of this situation. You can see two of the cattle actually here, both the cows, they are efforts are being made to revive them, because they were completely drowned, as we are being told, and they have been finally brought out, as many others are still being brought out.
All right, and stay on with us for a few more minutes, because I'd like to understand any sort of traffic advisory that has been actually sent out by the Noida administration as to the people who reside there or not. But before I go to that question, let me bring back Akash on the broadcast. Akash, there are too many things, updates that we are given to understand are coming. When it is about the railway operations, we are given to understand that over 600 trains have been, at least the operations have been suspended for at least 6 days. The Nigam Bodh Ghat has been shut. All of these updates coming to light. What is the administration really saying? Because this is going to not just impact people in the national capital, but also people either coming into Delhi or going out of Delhi.
In fact, this is the very question that one should ask them. Do they have any solution other than suggesting people that this water level will go down in a few hours or few days and then things will get better? Do you have any other option other than suggesting people that please stay at your home and don't go out if it is not necessary? Do you have any other option in fact, other than shutting down the schools and asking government offices and in fact the employees to stay at home? The answer is no, because Delhi was not prepared, and in fact this is the very question that was asked to CM Arvind Kejriwal, to which he responded that we don't have capacity. We don't have that capacity where we can handle so much of water. Griha, 2-3 things which are very important. And, I want to highlight this very politics that you talked about. Saurabh Bharadwaj and LG got in a sort of argument where Saurabh Bharadwaj said that yesterday we asked for NDRF teams but were not approved by the officer, and this is the reason why we have condition like such. To which LG responded that this is not the time to blame each other and we should, cooperate and work together. Yes, you should cooperate and work together, and this is not the time to blame each other. In fact, this was the very question asked to Saurabh Bharadwaj and Atishi as well, to which they responded that drain water, in fact the drainage system is designed in such a manner that we have all the water going to Yamuna only, and at a time when Yamuna is overflowing, at a time when Yamuna is actually passing the all-time flood mark, then you have no other option. In fact, the water has no other option than to backflow.
Yes.
This particular this particular junction, in fact, is very important. We have this particular rail line. You were talking about rail operations, so I want to mention this point, that we had manual operations in the national capital for for many hours at many sections. What is manual operation? So manual operation is that when signaling fails, so normally station master and the loco pilot shares manual memo. It means it is on the various officers as to how they will manage the train traffic and how they'll get the trains on different lines. So despite that, we have various trains diverted onto different routes. Despite the fact that we have train operations suspended on Old Yamuna Bridge, Northern Railway, in fact Indian Railway, has planned accordingly and has actually diverted and short terminated various trains. Now the question is that when you knew that this water level is going to rise further, when you had predictions from CWC that water is going to breach the danger mark, what kind of precautionary measures you had taken at that time? Also, it is important to mention that people in Delhi are not only dealing with this traffic congestion, but there is a problem of drinking water. In fact, in whole NDMC area, the public toilets doesn't have water today. Also, people have a problem related to electricity because there is a danger related to electrocution, and this is the reason why, in fact, at ITO we had several officers in the morning today struggling to ask the company to just put off the electricity in that area. So there are a number of problems that people in Delhi are facing, and this is the reason why they are asking question that do we have only option to wait and watch as to when this water level will go down, we'll get some sort of relief.
Absolutely. Which brings me to the next question that I'd like my colleague Anshul to actually throw his light upon. What really do you think, Anshul, came out of that entire DDMA meeting? If these questions, these all important questions were not really addressed, then what is it that they decided to do by calling an emergency meet and then this on-camera spat, again a blame game that has continued to happen, even though they are claiming that the roads have been shut down for visitors and for commuters? We do see people plying in the background, in your frame. I can see cars and motorbikes that are still allowed to actually ply in that area. We also constantly are getting these visuals on how people are in fact bathing in that very water, which can be very dangerous because you never know if at all there is a live wire, if the electricity is still intact in that area.
That's very true, and in fact what happened in that meeting that should be asked to the Lieutenant Governor and to the Delhi CM, who came all guns blazing after the meeting and said that they have made several plans to make sure that the situation in the national capital gets back to control. Now remember, that meeting happened at 10 a.m. yesterday, when the students were already in their schools, when the people, the office goers had already left from their houses and were stuck in traffic jams for 2 to 3 hours. Ambulances and patients were stuck in those jams with no option, nowhere to go. But yes, that meeting came out as an eyewash, where after the meeting, the LG and the Chief Minister came out and said that they have chalked out some sort of a plan to make sure that relief is given to the people. Now it has been more than 24 hours or more than 36 hours now, and this is a situation that has developed over here. In fact, the situation has gone from bad to worse, and still, as I was mentioning, there is not a single pump that has been deployed over here to pump this water out. There is not a single police official that can be seen out here on the ground, or anyone from the NDMC, or from, for that matter, any other department of the Delhi government. There is not one person that can be seen. People are left to fend for themselves. People who walk from this road day in and day out, they have no other option but to just get their hands on this footpath and try to get out of this water. This water that has turned so filthy is going to become a breeding ground for all the vector-borne diseases that the national capital is going to see over the next few days. But yes, the politics around this is definitely peaking. So we heard Saurabh Bharadwaj come out and say in front of the Lieutenant Governor that how the drainage system near the Yamuna, the gates are not opening. But did the minister not know that those gates are not opening, and shouldn't some action have been taken before such kind of situation came out in the national capital? The government has absolutely been reactive in this entire situation. No proactive measures were taken, no proactive announcements were made, no proactive decisions were taken. Absolutely, the government has definitely been on the back foot, but yes, the manner in which the politics is happening, everyone is trying to go ahead and get those photo ops done, where the ministers and the MPs operating in the national capital are going and getting their photos
Anshul, let me now quickly get in a word from Nikhil also, who has got us another vantage view. Nikhil is now at ITO Yamuna Barrage area. Nikhil, there's so much that's been said about the receding levels of water as far as Yamuna is concerned. Thankfully, the danger mark will begin to actually go down. But how much of an impact will it have on the already stagnated water at the various junctures of the national capital? Still becomes the big question. We have seen assessments that have been done on ground with the Delhi Chief Minister, the Delhi LG, that in fact, I believe the Delhi Chief Minister is there where you are at, Nikhil. Just take us through what is happening.
Well, exactly. And now in the visuals we are going to show you that Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, he has arrived at this particular location along with the concerned minister, that is Saurabh Bharadwaj. And as of now, Guneet sir, okay, so we are finding a bit difficulty to get you the proper frame. If my camera person Guneet Singh Bedi could hear me. Guneet sir. Okay, so as of now, as we were mentioning you earlier as well, that he is currently at this particular place, and here is the repairing work which is currently underway, and we have been given to understand that there are many of the gates which are properly here, but some of the gates, close to 5 of the gates, which were not functioning properly, and this is also one such reason the efforts were being made to tackle the problem at the earliest.
Is Arvind Kejriwal giving a reaction?
Trying.
What we can see in the frame that Nikhil is bringing to us from the Yamuna Barrage is that there is a second set of survey that currently the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is doing at the Yamuna Barrage area. Yes, Nikhil.
Acha, hold karo.
Nikhil, just take us through what is happening. Yes.
We were telling you that Chief. Okay, so this is one such barrage of the Yamuna near the ITO a while back from where we were reporting from. And in the visuals, you can see Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has come here to take stock of the overall situation because there were some of the gates which were not functioning properly. And now Kejriwal has come here to, see as to what is the situation, what is the status about the overall work. And Saurabh Bharadwaj, who is the concerned minister for the department, he has been here for very long. He has been here, a while back. Also, he was present here to see the situation with all the officials. And why this particular position is important, why this place is important, because there are close to 5 gates which are not functioning properly. There is some kind of repairing work which has to take place at this place, and this is the reason why the help has also been sought from the army personnel. So we can see that there are many of the technicians who have been working now round the clock since yesterday night, because this is something which the issue was raised yesterday night as to how to deal with this particular problem, because they have to also make sure at the same time that the gates should be working properly. Then only the proper passing of the water from this particular place could take, could be experienced. But here on the upper side, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has gone along with Saurabh Bharadwaj. There are other ministers as well who have been here, and the senior officials as well, so to say. And there is a big machine which can also be seen, which is deployed here to get the work started at the earliest, because this is one such important place. And after the repairing of this particular place, we will get to see that the passing of more and more water towards the other side of the city will be experienced from this particular place. So as of now, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has come here, and additionally,
and yet the big question remains, Nikhil, that why was it not done earlier? Because we can see technicians, like you are saying, senior officials who are there along with the Chief Minister. But what is the Chief Minister and his Minister, Mr. Saurabh Bharadwaj, once again doing there? Is this also a part of photo opportunity, considering Delhiites are suffering so much because of the stagnated levels of water in places that they never expected could go down in the deluge as badly as we are seeing, whether it is ITO, whether it is Bhairo Marg, whether it is the Supreme Court of the country, everything is inundated.
Well, absolutely, because this is something which was also being made by the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is one of the ruling opposition party in the capital city. They were saying that Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, for many days, he did not step out. And after 6 days, he had stepped out and he had gone to Wazirabad. That means yesterday only he had visited that particular water plant where the treatment usually takes place. So now he has been visiting other prominent places as well in the capital city to take stock of the overall situation. Yes, we can also say that this is the photo op, but the photo op side is also something which we can say from the side of the Delhi LG, VK Saxena, because as per the official details, at about 6:30 p.m. he is also expected to visit the same ITO point where he had gone this morning. So we can see that there are some of the people who have covered Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who had been coming here to visit to take stock of the overall situation. Now it seems like, it appears so, that the inspection work has been done, and we will, in a short while from now, we will get the updates. But in the visual, in few seconds, we will again see Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Saurabh Bharadwaj. They are coming down, and the location of the same, to reiterate for all those viewers who have joined us on CNN News 18, that this is the Yamuna Barrage near to the ITO site. There are 5 of the gates of this particular barrage were not working, so the repairing work had to be started. Arvind Kejriwal is expected to speak to the media persons. He has called the media persons close to him, and we are also trying to take a question from him.
अभी मैं वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट से आ रहा हूँ। तो हमारे 3 वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट कल बंद हो गए थे, चंद्रावल, ओखला और वजीराबाद। आज पानी थोड़ा सा नीचे गया है, उसकी वजह से ओखला वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट चालू हो गया है। अभी वो चालू करा के आ रहे हैं। तो कल सुबह तक अगर 207.7 तक भी पहुँच गया, अभी जैसे 208.2 है, 207.7 तक भी पहुंच गया, तो बाकी दोनों वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट फिर उसको ड्राई करके दोनों चालू हो जाएंगे। यहाँ पे अभी हम आए हैं, हम देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे 5 गेट जो हैं ये दोनों गेट बंद हैं, 5 गेट बंद हैं 32 में से, जिसकी वजह से पूरा पानी पूरे फ्लो के साथ जितना पानी दिल्ली में एंटर कर रहा है वो पानी बाहर नहीं निकल रहा। तो इस वजह से दिल्ली में पानी रुक जाता है तो पानी फैल जाता है चारों तरफ। ये अभी काफ़ी इसकी पे कोशिश जारी है और नेवी के लोग भी आए हुए हैं और मुझे उम्मीद है कि ये जल्दी अब ये उनको भी पूरी उम्मीद है, उनसे भी मैंने बात की कि ये 5 गेट खुल जाएंगे तो उससे पानी का बहाव तेजी के साथ दिल्ली से पानी छोड़ना चालू हो जाएगा।
क्या बदल क्या जाएगा सर?
क्योंकि ये लोग लगे हुए हैं, कोई टाइम लिमिट देना तो मुश्किल है, लेकिन जल्दी से जल्दी
सर क्या बदल जाएगा? क्योंकि जो 5 गेट हैं वो स्टिल वाटर है, पानी ठहरा हुआ है, तो क्या इसके खुलने से आपको लगता है कि जल्दी कम होगा?
जैसे अब इतना बड़ा है, अब इतने चैनल में से पानी जा रहा है, बाकी इतने चैनल में से नहीं जा रहा, पूरे में से जाएगा तो जाहिर तौर पे पानी तेजी से बाहर निकलेगा। हरियाणा सरकार इसका मेंटेनेंस करती है, लेकिन चूंकि दिल्ली में उनका कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, इसके बाद इसकी कार्रवाई चालू करेंगे कि अगर वो हमें दे दें, हम उनसे निवेदन करेंगे कि हमें ही दे दें ताकि हम इसका मेंटेनेंस
नहीं खुले हैं ये गेट, ये अब जब ऐसी वर्स्ट सिचुएशन हो गई है तब इनको खोला जा रहा है।
कई दशकों से कह रहे हैं नहीं खुले।
सर तो दिल्ली सरकार की जिम्मेदारी नहीं बनती है कि उन्हें पहले से पता होना चाहिए था? ये
हम नहीं बताते हैं कि हरियाणा से कई बार रिक्वेस्ट की है लेकिन हुआ नहीं, तो इस बार जब ये आफत आई है तो हरियाणा से इस बार कहा जाएगा कि भाई देखो इस बार इतनी आफत आई, अब आप मान जाओ, आप दे दो। तो
सर बीजेपी का आरोप है कि ब्लेम गेम चल रहा है, आरोप प्रत्यारोप की सियासी राजनीति चल रही है।
किया नहीं है सिचुएशन, वही मैं कल से देख रहा हूँ, हमें गाली दे रहे हैं, वो देते रहे, गाली देने में क्या रखा है। इस टाइम तो ये है, ये तो ऐसी क्राइसिस है जिसमें इंसान को इंसान की मदद करनी चाहिए, एक दूसरे को गालियां देने से कोई फायदा नहीं है। पर मैं देख रहा हूँ सुबह से वो कल से बीजेपी वाले मेरे को गाली दे रहे हैं, दे लेंगे गाली, अपने को क्या।
दिल्ली के मुकंदपुर में 3 बच्चे डूब करके मर गए हैं, 3 मौतें हुई हैं।
बहुत दुखद बात है, वो तीनों बच्चे नहाने के लिए गए थे उसमें नदी में, पता चला, और हमने कई बार बोला है कि नदी से दूर रहिए। कई लोग एक तरह से देखने जा रहे हैं, बाढ़ देखने जा रहे हैं, वो भी मत कीजिए। कई बार अचानक पानी बढ़ जाता है तो सेल्फी ले रहे हैं, वीडियो बना रहे हैं, वो सब मत कीजिए। नहाने के लिए अभी नदी का बहाव इतना तेज है, आप अच्छे से अच्छे अगर स्विमर भी हैं तो भी इस नदी का बहाव आप उसको बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाएंगे।
सर दिल्ली की जिंदगी नॉर्मल कब होगी सर? पानी कब हटेगा? कब तक बेहतर होगी सर?
अब देखिए कल और परसों फिर बारिश का अंदेशा है, अभी जो
कल येलो अलर्ट जारी किया है
ना, अभी मौसम विभाग का आया है, तो अगर बारिश अगर नहीं आती तो मैं समझता हूँ 1-2 दिन में हो जाएगी। बारिश अगर और आएगी तो फिर देखना पड़ेगा कि।
एक आखिरी सवाल है सर कि आखिर दिल्ली की जो हालत है उसका जिम्मेदार कौन है?
इसमें किसी का ब्लेम गेम थोड़ी, सारा पानी तो ऊपर से आ रहा है। बारिश तो हुई नहीं दिल्ली के अंदर, 1 दिन बारिश हुई थी, उसके बाद तो ये सारा का सारा पानी हिमाचल प्रदेश, हरियाणा उधर से आ रहा है, ये हमारा लोकल पानी तो है नहीं। और इतना पानी हैंडल करने की दिल्ली की कैपेसिटी आज तक नहीं थी। 278 से 43 साल के बाद, 45 साल के बाद इतना 207.5 क्रॉस किया है, तो बहुत बड़ी क्राइसिस है। ऐसी क्राइसिस में एक दूसरे पे दोष देने की बजाय सबको मिलके काम करना चाहिए।
Okay, so this was Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal who has come here for the inspection. He has also spoken to the media persons. Guneet sir, पीछे से आइए. He was speaking to the media persons. He has given us the overall details as to what the situation is all about at this particular place. He has also spoken about the blame game, which is currently underway between the leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party and the Bharatiya Janata Party as well. And yet again, in the visuals continues to be the Chief Minister of National Capital, Arvind Kejriwal, who has been visiting different
Absolutely,
places.
Nikhil. We are seeing that the Chief Minister, along with his Minister Saurabh Bharadwaj, are currently there at the Yamuna Barrage area to take stock of the situation. We'll keep our viewers updated on what is the next state of affairs as far as the national capital and the regions adjoining are concerned. Right now, we're slipping into a very short break right here on Viewpoint. But up next, India's historic moon mission takes orbit as Chandrayaan 3 heads to the moon. That is a game changer in the global space race, and that debate is coming up after this short break.
Minus 25 seconds.
L110 VSPP open.
minus 20 seconds, minus 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Lift off normal.
Here we have a majestic lift-off of LVM-3 M4 rocket carrying India's prestigious Chandrayaan 3 spacecraft.
P2 tracking.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन LVM-3 M4 रॉकेट का। यह भीमकाय रॉकेट आसमान को चीरते हुए अपनी भयानक दहाड़ से चारों ओर कंपन उत्पन्न कर रहा है। इसे हम यहाँ महसूस कर सकते हैं और यही दहाड़ है जो वैज्ञानिकों को रोमांचित करती है। LVM-3 के उत्थापन के साथ ही हमारे अंतरिक्ष यान चंद्रयान 3 की चंद्रमा की यात्रा प्रारंभ हो चुकी है।
As the rocket is soaring through the clear skies, every second moving closer to the accomplishment of the most important milestone in its mission to moon. Every Indian witnessing the launch live is content with the feeling of watching history in the making.
चंद्रमा की सतह पर अपना छाप छोड़ने के लिए चंद्रयान 3 अपने मिशन को पूरा करने निकल चुका है। वर्तमान में दोनों S-200 स्टेप ऑन बूस्टर सामान निष्पादन करते हुए अपनी निर्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं।
The S-200 motors thrusting simultaneously, generating a peak thrust of close to 6,000 kilonewtons in vacuum. They are made of HTPB-based solid propellant. 204.5 tons in each strap-on. Close to 2 tons of propellant being burnt each second.
S-200 स्ट्रैप-ऑन बूस्टर्स का कुल प्रज्वलन काल 126 सेकंड का है और अभी घोषणा की गई L110 स्टेज का भी प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है।
Apart from the strap-ons, the core stage has also commenced its operation. This stage, based on combination
200 stages are separated
of hypergolic Earth storable liquid propellants UH-25 and N2O4. Now the S-200s have been separated.
घटनाक्रम के अनुसार इस यान से S-200 स्ट्रैप-ऑन बूस्टर्स को सफलतापूर्वक पृथक कर दिया गया है। यह काम सेपरेशन मोटर्स की मदद से किया जाता है। इसके बाद L110 तरल नोदक पर आधारित और विकास इंजन के साथ यह चरण सामान्य निष्पादन करता हुआ अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ रहा है। अभियान क्लोज लूप गाइडेंस के अंतर्गत है।
L110 stage performance normal.
The trajectory of launch vehicle is closely following the prediction.
Payload fairing separated.
जी हाँ, पेलोड फेयरिंग को पृथक कर दिया गया है यान से, क्योंकि यान अब 114.8 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई प्राप्त कर चुका है। इस चरण का कुल प्रज्वलन काल 200 सेकेंड होता है और इस दौरान यह करीब 1600 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणुद उत्पन्न करता है।
We are 220 seconds past the launch time. Current altitude is 135 kilometers. In the 200 seconds of its operation, the L110 stage carries the rocket up to 175.5 kilometers altitude and imparts a relative velocity of 4.18 kilometers per second, that is 250 kilometers every minute.
L110 stage performance normal.
LVM-3 M4 रॉकेट का द्वितीय चरण पूर्णतः सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए इस चरण में कुल 113 टन के तरल नोदक भरे जाते हैं। N2O4 तथा UH-25 अर्थ स्टोरेबल प्रोपेलेंट को ईंधन के रूप में प्रयोग किया जाता है इस चरण में।
Stage ignition is authorized.
अगला चरण C25 का प्रज्वलन भावी है।
Plus 5 minutes.
One front stage thrust cut off and separated to C25 ignition command. 25 ignition confirmed.
That's a piece of really good news that the third stage has started its operation. The C25 stage has been ignited.
जी हाँ, एक बहुत ही जटिल प्रक्रिया होती है।
Welcome back. You're watching Viewpoint with me, Griha. To the moon with love it is, as the Bahubali with a bold liftoff glided through the skies this afternoon at 2:35 p.m. to go into space. With this, the Indian Space Research Organisation launched its third lunar mission, Chandrayaan 3, on board the heavy lift LVM-3M4 rocket from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota. Now, 16 minutes into liftoff, propulsion module successfully separated from the rocket and has now been injected into the desired orbit to begin its journey to the moon. ISRO scientists announced the successful separation of the satellite from the launch vehicle. Now remember, this moon mission is a follow-up one after the crash landing of Chandrayaan 2 in September 2019, which happened due to software failure. The main goal of Chandrayaan 3 is to land the rover on the lunar surface on August 23rd. That's when it is going to happen. The new mission, remember, also aims to demonstrate India's capability to safely land and explore the lunar surface. The spacecraft is expected to reach the moon's south pole and operate for 1 lunar day, which is approximately 14 Earth days. Now, why 1 if you ask? It is because the lander and the rover are built to last only for 1 lunar day. They can't survive the extreme drop in temperatures during the lunar nights and hence have to land right at dawn and go about doing their job of discovering what lies on the surface of the moon. Now remember, this third Chandrayaan, the word for moon craft in Sanskrit, not only has the potential to reaffirm ISRO's position as one of the front-ranking spacefaring nations, but also will allow it to get actively involved in more collaborative missions with other space agencies. Let me open this up to my guests on the broadcast who are joining me on this auspicious evening. Professor Y.S. Rajan, who is the Honorary Distinguished Professor at ISRO, is also a Padma Shri awardee, is with us. Dr. Amitabh Ghosh, who is a space scientist and also part of NASA's Mars Exploration Rover mission, is also with us. And last but not the least, Mr. V. Selvamurthy, who is a scientist and former Chief Controller, Researcher and Development at the DRDO, is also with us. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Ghosh, let me begin with you. What we have witnessed today, how do you choose to describe that feeling, considering it's a successful part 1 of that mission that's been accomplished for India, for ISRO? What would you say to what has happened today?
So I think it's wonderful, and I'm speaking from an average perspective, from an average space scientist. So, so there is a camaraderie, it's beyond national boundaries. And if any nation goes to space, I think the community is very happy.
Yes.
I think this is a grand start. And so we hope that the August 23rd and 24th is nominal. And the other thing is, you mentioned, I think constantly Chandrayaan 2 is being pulled into the picture in the discussion. I think that should be left alone.
Yeah.
It's a different endeavor. You're going back differently. So I think it's not the time to discuss that, well, why did it fail and it failed due to software failure? See, this is a risky frontier. And we have to understand that failure is part of the game here. Every big agency has failed, and it is completely all right. It is not a day-to-day normal job. It is a hard job, and there are things that you don't know and you will discover along the way.
Correct.
So I don't think you should even view it that way. So I think overall it's a huge deal. I think this will make India the fourth power to land.
Oh, absolutely.
There are 200 countries, and just 4 of them have this unique capability of going 500,000 miles from Earth and then landing there. I mean, if you just think of it, how far is it? So it's far away. You're sending something and then controlling it. It's absolutely fabulous.
Absolutely. And, let me actually bring in Professor Rajan now on the broadcast. Professor Rajan, and pardon me, Dr. Ghosh, why I was talking about Chandrayaan 2 was also because the ISRO chairperson, Mr. S. Somnath, has also mentioned that how Chandrayaan 3 is not like a success-based design that we're looking at. It's a failure-based design. And he has underlined that aspect. So, Professor Rajan, how does one read that?
I don't know how you have interpreted this failure-based. Nobody makes a failure-based design. First of all, let me go to the basic fundamentals. Sure. Forget all Chandrayaan, this orbit. This is a great achievement. For the moment you forget Chandrayaan, decouple it. This Bahubali, or what you call as Bahubali, this is the heaviest one which India has done. Standalone, it is a great success because 7 consecutive launches have been successful. It is very important for space people because it is comes to close to 99.999 something like that reliability. That's the first thing. Number 2, if you have listened to various things which they were telling, the lot of things, especially when those director VSSC and others when they were telling, is that lot of items which are man rating. We have to go for Gaganyaan or whatever that our human space flight. For that, when they started about 4 or 5 years ago, the Bahubali was not, first launch, second launch. We have to develop a amount of reliability. Then only you put a human being. So they have got that reliability, and they have tested many items which need to be done for human rating. Because, for example, the liquid engine, it has got human rating. The many items there have come. So by standalone, it is a great milestone for Indian launch vehicle capability.
Absolutely.
Keep that. Now I will go to Chandrayaan.
Yes.
Then Chandrayaan, see again, we don't design for something to fail anytime. It's not that costly way. We may do some destructive tests on the ground, but we won't do a whole this thing and then say money we have wasted. We don't splurge it. It was done with a lot of care and design and whatever can be done. And there are always certain limitations of knowledge-based experience. See, the thing is you have to get experience-based knowledge. If you look at various other countries, they do. Even this Bahubali, some of the earlier things had failed. Then one learns from it. And then here, the same Somanath, what he was explaining was many things which didn't do that well, or they would have tried to do something better. They got that time, and then they have changed it into this. For example, 2 engine. It was a single engine landing. They have made a double engine.
Yes.
So like that, there are power. For example, you told it can't stand that cold. It is not the standing of that cold. After the 14 days, it goes to the darker side. That way the sun will not come. So therefore, have enough battery capacity. So here they have tried to increase the battery capacity. So if it is so, if they are lucky, because he said if you are lucky, it will work on that, then the other 14 days it will survive. So these are the things which are there. There are so many little details which are there. It will be, if I start listing, it will be much, because Somanath has given a very beautiful chairman ISRO has given it this. So in other words, we are waiting. When I say this, I am waiting for that August 23, 24. Each one of those, now it has gone there, it has to get into a moon capture. That is another tricky business. After the moon capture, it will
But talking about that very tricky business, on that note, let me actually bring in Mr. Selvamurthy. I'd want to understand this from you, Mr. Selvamurthy. Why is it so difficult to land on the moon? What makes moon such a troubled territory that only 3 nations before India that has achieved what it has achieved today could actually go about doing that when it is about their own set of space explorations?
First of all, I want to compliment, congratulate even the first phase of the Chandrayaan 3 mission, which has been an outstanding success. The launch and the trajectory in which what was predicted and the movement of the spacecraft has been so precise. So well begun is half done. So I would like to compliment the scientists of ISRO, technicians, all those who are connected, particularly the chairman, the earlier chairman. All these people have contributed immensely. So we should, the nation should compliment, congratulate them. I would also like to place on record our gratitude to Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and also Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, who have been providing immense support to ISRO, because Space Department comes directly with the PMO. So that patronage support is also there all the time for success of this event. Having said this, this mission is very important because Chandrayaan 2, we were just missed it in a very small fraction, maybe 5%, 95% was successful.
Absolutely.
So this part will be revalidating all the technology, propulsion, guidance, control, navigation, payload integration, payload separation, also looking at the trajectories and also orbital insertion, lunar insertion. So many complicated technologies and the systems functioning happens in this mission.
Absolutely. And the most important part, Mr. Selvamurthy, will be that the secrets of the lunar surface is something that we all would like to know about, and that's what Chandrayaan 3 is set to achieve. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me on this edition of Viewpoint. That's all the time that I had on Viewpoint. Thank you so much for watching.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The entire country is beaming with pride. India is all set to have another date with the moon, and we are all hoping this one will go a little bit better than last time. So Chandrayaan 3 has been launched by the ISRO team today. The satellite has separated and all the parameters are functioning within normal ranges. Indian scientists have set their sights on landing Chandrayaan 3 in the challenging terrain of the moon's unexplored South Pole one more time. The spacecraft's journey from Earth to the moon is estimated to take approximately a month, with the landing anticipated to occur on August 3. So keep your fingers crossed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's on a 2-day visit to France, has called the mission a new chapter in India's space odyssey. Chandrayaan 3 represents India's commitment to scientific excellence and technological innovation, but also embodies the Made in India push. The success of this mission would not only open new avenues for space exploration, of course, but will also strengthen India's position in the global space community, solidifying its presence and contributions in the field. We will get you more of what this means for India with our special guest joining us in just a bit. First, here is more of what you need to know about ISRO's third moon mission. So Chandrayaan 3 liftoff is done, and now it's going to be a 6-week journey to the moon. The launch is successful. Chandrayaan 3 has also been placed well in orbit, but remember, there are multiple more stages that are remaining, and all of them are crucial. This mission aims to put a lander and a rover on the moon for exploration of the moon's surface. Remember, this is ISRO's second attempt for this soft landing on the moon, and if we succeed, India will become the first country to land on moon's south pole, which is completely unexplored. Here are 5 reasons why Chandrayaan 3 is key for India, for more reasons than one. First of all, it shows India's tech prowess and ambitions in space exploration. India could become only the 4th country to land a spacecraft on moon overall. This will foster a sense of national pride and boost the scientific community's morale. This also provides avenues for international collaboration and partnerships, and ISRO already is doing a stupendous job in that regard when it comes to pushing satellites up in orbit. But this also promotes indigenous research and development. And why do we talk about indigenous research and development? Because ISRO is doing this on their own. And remember, ISRO has already made a name for itself for managing missions of this precision and such scale to the moon and beyond on shoestring budget. So 615 crore rupees have been spent on Chandrayaan 3 mission. In contrast, NASA's Artemis 1, the first